The moment you decide to have your own business, you also decide to take on a whole bunch of new roles, whether you want to or not. Bookkeeper, accountant, administrative, manager, visionary, creative, social media expert, marketer, and copywriter. Yep, whether you realize it or not, want to or not, love it or not, if you want to be in business, you need to know how to write copy. Your business literally cannot exist without it. And yet so many coaches, practitioners, and small business owners never give their copywriting skills a second thought, and then they're stumped when their businesses are struggling to take off, or they're not building an audience, or they're not creating a connection-based community. And it all comes back to copy. So in this Copywriting Crash Course podcast series, I'm covering the ins and outs of writing good copy for your small business, even if you're not a quote-unquote good writer. So stay tuned. Hey there, I'm Shawn Mynar, and this is Unstuck Entrepreneur. I'm a former nutritionist who turned a struggling, stressful nutrition practice into a thriving, freedom-filled online business where I work from home in my sweatpants while reaching and helping thousands of people all at the same time. Now I'm obsessed with showing other heart-centered coaches, practitioners, and solopreneurs how to build a business and life they love. Consider this podcast your safe space to learn both the inner work and practical strategies required to build the impactful, profitable business of your dreams. No hustle, grind, or long hours required. That's right, hustle culture, not welcome here. Let's get into today's session. Hey there, friends. Welcome back to the Unstuck Entrepreneur podcast. I'm Shawn, your host, here on the show. In every episode, it's me and you. So happy to have you here and grateful for your support of this show. We're getting into the good stuff. I have been waiting a couple months now to record these episodes and to do this podcast series all around copywriting and having good copy in your business because we all need it. There is no other way. There's no way around having good copy and the difference that it makes in your business and for your business growth. So we're going to do a whole podcast series. I don't know how many episodes it's going to be yet. I would say at least 4, all around writing good copy for your small business. Even if you don't consider yourself a good writer, or you don't feel like you're good at marketing, or you don't feel comfortable selling, or all these weird stories that we have in our heads around that side of our businesses, we're going to cut through that and find out what it actually takes to really upgrade your copywriting skills. So that is the plan for this series. Be sure to check them all out from this episode for at least the next 4 to really get the full picture of what you can do in your business. Today, this episode, we're going to start with the basics and just really dive into a good, solid understanding of what copy and copywriting even is, because what I have come to find out is that not a lot of you even really know or understand what those words are and how they fit into the big picture of your business. So let's start there. First, a very basic definition of copy and copywriting. So copy is the written content that aims to increase brand awareness and ultimately prompt a person or group to take a particular action. So that is the definition of copy. Let me say it again. Written content that aims to increase brand awareness and ultimately prompt a person or group to take a particular action. That is copy. And you will find that obviously copywriting is a very similar definition. Copywriting is the process of writing words intended to prompt a specific action by the reader. So copywriting is the process of writing copy. And this is where I just make the overarching disclaimer that I am not talking about copywriting, copyright, not that little circle with the C in it that protects your content. That is not what I'm talking about here. That's a totally different version of essentially the same word, but we are not talking about that here. So now that we know these definitions, then we know that copy is written content that is essentially guiding someone to take an action. So there are 3 main actions that we're going to talk about here. Those actions are to become a lead. So that would be, for instance, someone happens upon your website and they become a lead by signing up for your newsletter, getting your freebie, that kind of thing. They are now in your orbit instead of just being a passerby on your website, just someone that comes on, clicks, reads a couple words and leaves, and then never thinks about you again. So the goal really with website copy, there's a lot of goals, and we'll get into more of this in detail when we talk specifically about websites. But one of the goals of a website copy is to turn a cold visitor into a lead. And that would be someone who is now on your email list or listening to your podcast or following you on social media. So they've taken another action. There's also to become a buyer. So obviously this is when maybe someone on your email list or someone that listens to your podcast or watches your YouTube channel or something like that, then takes the action to pay you for your products or services. So they become a buyer. And what prompts them, what encourages them, what guides them through that process are your words, what you're saying in your email or what you're writing in your social media caption or what you have on your website or on your sales page or your landing page. It's the words that guide them to do that. And then there's one more type of action to take that I don't think most people specifically spotlight, but I do want to because I think it's really important. And that is the opportunity to take an action to become a repeat buyer. So what are you doing? What are you saying? What are you writing to the people that have purchased something from you once to get them to purchase something else or purchase again from you or take the next step with you and go from, a DIY product to a one-on-one coaching package? So the opportunity to guide someone to become a repeat buyer. So those are the 3 main actions that we're talking about when we discuss the main contributions that your copywriting will do for you, which, as you can see, is basically everything in your business to get new, fresh eyes on you, to get those eyes to become leads, and to get those leads then to become buyers. That is business in a nutshell, right? So really important. And from there, we can also then see where you're currently writing copy in your business, whether you've ever thought about it that way or not, whether you realize it or not, whether you like it or not. You are writing copy in your business, on your website, on every page of your website. It should be very intentional, well thought out, strategic copy, which I hardly ever see, at least in this space that I tend to fall into, which is wellness coaches and practitioners and experts, that kind of thing. I'm not seeing that intentional, well thought out, strategic copy on your website. But it should be there. It should definitely be a big piece of your business and where you're putting your copy and your thought into that. Your emails, all the emails that you send. Now, even if you are writing an email that's not specifically saying, hey, sign up for this program, hey, sign up to work one-on-one with me, even if that email is not specifically intended for that purpose with that conversion in mind, it still is part of the overarching process. You are still in that role of warming them up to make that move, to take the next step. So it still is copywriting. Okay. So all your emails, your social media captions, again, even if you're not saying, hey, sign up for this freebie, which just good copy would never just outright say that, just as a little side note there. But even if the goal is not to explicitly talk about your freebie and get that person from, lurker into lead, you are still in the process of warming them up to eventually take the next step. So you're still writing copy. All of your landing pages, your thank you pages, your sales pages, obviously, your webinars, your video and audio scripts, even your blog posts. So pretty much all of the writing that you're doing for your business, which I know for me, I'd never expected to write as much as I do as a business owner. Did not really consider that when I was getting into this role. And now writing, I do also love it. And it is something that I want to do more of, not only in my business, but for other businesses as well. Hint, hint. But it's a lot. There's a lot of writing involved. And it should all be intentional, well thought out, strategic copywriting. And to be completely honest with you, I don't think there's very many of you listening right now. I'm sure there are some, but I don't think there's very many of you that can confidently raise your hand and say, yes, I have really thought about my copywriting. I have really upgraded my writing skills, and I can honestly, truly say that everything I write is intentional, strategic, and well thought out. Because that's not really where our head goes usually. And I think also there's a lot of this misnomer that that's all going to take a lot of time and energy and effort, and you don't have it. So you're just going to throw something up in the captions and not ever think about it again. And that's false too. It's more so once you learn the skills, then it just becomes second nature, but we haven't even learned the skills yet. And it's like we're trying to ride a bike when we haven't even learned how to walk. And so we need to kind of take it back a notch, learn what we're supposed to be infusing in there, learn the process, learn the psychology, learn the strategy, learn everything that's involved in copywriting, which is much more than just salesy words. It's not actually salesy words at all, which we'll find out in a little bit. But really taking that time to learn something that is so incredibly important and really pivotal for you to have a successful business. It's like a non-negotiable, and yet so many people have glazed over it. Not anymore, not here, because we're committed to doing the right things for our businesses and the success of our businesses around here. All right, now we're going to go over some other definitions of copy, some things that I want you to consider to basically get you on board with making this a priority in your business. First, copy is your salesperson. And how nice is that? And how powerful is that? Your words are and will be that powerful in your business. And what's really nice about this is if you don't love kind of like selling on the fly, and if you feel kind of uncomfortable with that and that doesn't really like vibe with you, hey, let your copy do the heavy lifting. That is what it is there for. That is what it will do. And if it's good copy, it will do it really, really well. So you really don't have to do or say anything. You can sit back and let the writing that you did do the work for you. So using the right words in your business by way of your copy, of course, is the thing that generates revenue for your business. The right words in your business generate revenue. You can't say that about a fancy website design or a logo or these social media templates that have your brand colors on them. You can't say that about those things. It's the words that do it. It's the words on that website. It's the words in that social media post that guide that person to take the next step and become a paying client. All right, next, copy is your message in the way that your dream client needs to hear it. Ooh, this is so good. This is so good. This is all we need to say. We can just forget it all. This is it. Just do this and you're golden. Copy is your message in the way your dream clients need to hear it. Just by your words, you are going to show your dream clients what's possible. You're going to get them excited about the possibility of something different for themselves, a life with a resolution to their problem, or their goals achieved, or their dreams realized. You have the power to show them all of that and get them excited about that just by way of your words. Like, that is cool stuff, is it not? And this also goes to show something important that is going to get into my next point here quite nicely, which is that copywriting is not about using words to sell. It's using words to coach. And I had such a light bulb moment as I was going through my copywriting certification when we talked about this, because this is huge for people like us who naturally fall into the role of coach or helper or healer or guide, someone like that where you know you want to help others. And so a lot of times we shy away from this selling aspect of what we do. And it obviously hinders our ability to help the people we want to help. But when you can see that the words that you are using in your copy are really just there to support and guide and coach people into making the best decision for themselves, that takes on a whole new meaning because you're already a coach, more than likely, or see yourself in that way to some degree. So now if you just take those same skills that you do with your clients and infuse them into your copywriting to help someone make the best decisions for themselves, which is what you're already doing as a coach with your clients, then what changes? What would change if that is how you took on the role of copywriting in your business? So let's always remember that copy is a coaching tool. That's all it is, a coaching tool. As a coach, it is your job to be a guide and to guide your clients on a path towards what they want. And that's exactly what you're doing through your copy. You're coaching them to take the next best step for them towards something better for themselves. Is that not so cool? And don't you want to infuse that in all of the writing that you are doing for your business? I mean, wow. I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but I think that is a really cool thing and something that takes it to a whole new level with a whole new purpose in at least my business and hopefully for you too. All right, a few things that copy is not. First, I think we may have gotten this already, but let me just remind you, good copy, and the word good is in front of there for a reason, good copy is not salesy, sleazy, pushy marketing tactics. That's not what we're doing here. Good copy is actually incredibly empathetic, kind, caring, and feel good, and it infuses your personality. So it could be funny, it could be silly, it could be sensitive or spiritual. Like there's so much that can be infused into your copy, and none of it is salesy or sleazy or pushy or anything like that. What it's really about is meeting people where they're at, meeting those dream clients of yours, and letting them know that you see and hear them. And when your clients read words from you that do that, the last thing they are going to think or feel is that you're being annoying, pushy, sleazy, used car salesman. That is the very last thing. There is nothing they want more than to feel seen, heard, and understood. And when you can do that, you have a client for life, a paying client for life. And that is the goal of your copy. And it makes it fun to read. It provides emotion. It's engaging. People want to open your emails. People want to read your social media captions. People want to check out your blogs because you have infused that, not only the I see you, I feel you part, but your personality as well. That's what makes things fun to read. I think we can all agree with that. And again, not something I'm seeing very many of you out there do, at least not intentionally. And can we try to do a little bit more of that and make it a little more fun to write for our business? Next thing, copy is not perfect, beautiful, A+ writing. Can we get a hallelujah? Take everything you learned in high school about writing and basically throw it out the window because you don't need it in copywriting. I mean, at least not as strictly. Like, yes, still put commas where they need to go, still put periods at the end of sentences, those kinds of things, yes. But in terms of having like a specific number of sentences per paragraph and not having run-on sentences, but then also not making your sentences too short, that can go out the window because the real goal, the main thing when it comes to your writing is that it is engaging, that it keeps people reading. And in today's world, with the amount of content we all have in our faces all the time, it is more important than ever to have engaging copy and also to allow for skimming. And if someone is skimming, reading quickly, just reading kind of the bullets or just kind of what catches their eye, that they can still get the point and still potentially be interested without having to read every word. So you will notice as you start kind of paying more attention to other people's copywriting skills. And also it's really cool just to notice how you read. What do you focus on? What do you notice? Do you skim as well? Are you still able to get to the point of something if you are just skimming? And what makes that possible? And what you'll probably notice is if there's a lot of space, then that makes it more readable. So not these big, long paragraphs. No one's going to read an entire paragraph. So chunk it up, space it up. It's fine. You can put one sentence as an entire paragraph for an entire line. That is totally fine. Incomplete sentences, really short, punchy sentences, that is the kind of stuff that really grabs attention. So we don't need to have this like beautiful, lovely, amazing A+, really like high level writing to have good copy. And in fact, I will tell you not to have high level writing in your copy, and we'll talk about that in an upcoming episode. But this also means that you don't have to be an excellent A+ writer to write good copy. The best copy is really simple and straightforward and easy to read and flows well, and most importantly, connects with where your people are at. And that doesn't require an expansive vocabulary or this amazing writing skills that you have in order to get to that connection point. I really feel like if you could today turn in a 5th grade paper, then you can write copy and you can write good copy. So if that has ever been something you've thought of, like, I'm not a good writer, so therefore I can't write good copy, or, everything I do right for my business is going to suck, get that out of your head right now. We are going to change that. That is my goal here. Last thing, actually, second to last thing, copy is not optional if you want a business. I think I have made that clear, but just wanted to kind of put the cap on that. Copy is not optional if you want a business. You have a choice. You can learn how to do it, or you can pay for it. So you can do it yourself and learn how to do it well so that you have a successful business, or you can pay someone else to write your copy for you. They are both valid options, but you do have to pick one of them. You have to choose one of those two. We can't stay where we are now with having done neither, at least not intentionally. If you want to intentionally learn how to write good copy in your business, then I have a waitlist for you that I want you to go to right now and sign up for this waitlist because I'm hosting a workshop at the end of the month-ish. I haven't set a date yet, but I'm working on it now. At the end of February 2023, I'm hosting a workshop and I want you to be there so you can learn how to write good copy. So head to shawnmynar.com/copy and get yourself on the wait list, and you'll be the first to know when the workshop date has been set and how to get registered for that. So shawnmynar.com/copy. Again, you have to make a decision. Do you want to learn how to write good copy, or do you want to pay for someone else to write it for you? I will tell you that's an option, and that's an option that I'm going to be offering people as well, but it does come with a significantly higher price tag. Obviously, done for you versus do it yourself is always going to have a higher price tag, just to be totally transparent with you there. If you are more at the do-it-yourself stage in your business, then you want to sign up on this waitlist, shawnmynar.com/copy, COPY. And then the last thing I want to go over with you really quick, this is a quick distinction, but I want to make sure I make it right away. And that is the difference between messaging and copy. I've talked about messaging a lot over the years on this podcast, and it is another essential thing you have for your business, and they are very much intertwined because your copy is the vehicle by which you will deliver your message, which means you can know your message really well, but it doesn't really mean anything if you don't know how to communicate it, if you're not using that vehicle properly to communicate it. And you can also try to drive that vehicle, try to write copy, and it's not going to go anywhere. You're going to be totally stalled out if you haven't figured out your messaging. So all this to say, you very much need to know both, need to have both going on in your business. They are very much intertwined and they really depend on each other. So the first step, of course, is to determine and master your messaging. Once you have that, then you move on to copy. As I will teach it, we will do both. We'll make sure that you have messaging magic going on in your business, and then you will infuse that messaging into your really great copy. So that is the plan. But I wanted to make sure that you know the difference and you know how they interact and how important they are to each other, messaging and copy. All right, that will wrap up this first episode in the copywriting crash course series that we're doing. I want to give you a little bit of homework. It's very easy, don't worry. But over this series, we're going to do a little copy audit on your own copy, on what you are currently creating in your business. If you have written any words at all in your business, then use that to drive this copy audit. So I would say a good place to start is your website, for example. Social media captions are another great way. The emails that you're sending out. I want you to just go in and read them and just get a sense of how you would rate them. Just don't have to overthink it. Just read some things that you've written for your business that are currently being used in your business and see how you feel about them, how you're experiencing them, how you think your clients or your potential clients would experience them, and give yourself a rating 1 to 10. That's all we're going to do right now. I just want to see where you're starting out. I want you to see where you're starting out because things can change really quickly and really easily, and you can actually really love what you have written for your business. And that's really what we want to do. We want you to be like really confident in what you have going out into the world. And obviously, we want it to also work for your business. And part of that is having that confidence in what you're putting out. So just give yourself an overall rating. I would love it if you would share it with me. You can send me a direct message over on Instagram at Shawn Mynar and just give me an overall score of how you're doing. Let me know anything that you're thinking around your copy and if what you love about it, what you don't love about it, what you think needs work, what you think is going well. I would just love to get that from you, and I want you to do that for yourself too, because we have to get a starting point. All right, and that will wrap it up. Again, make sure you go get on the waitlist so that we can really take this to the next level and teach you how to write good copy over at shawnmynar.com/copy. And until next time, take care. Hey friend, real quick before you go, don't forget to head over to my website and take the quiz to find out your solopreneur personality type. I've created a super fun, super informative 2-minute quiz that will show you which one of the 4 solopreneur personality types you fall into. Could it be the boss, the socialite, the visionary, or the supporter? Which one are you? Not only is it just fun to know more about yourself, especially as it relates to your business, but it's also really important information so you can be sure that you're building a business that works for you based on your energy, your personality, and your desires. Did you ever take those quizzes from the Cosmopolitan magazine back in the day? It's kind of like that, but with actual solid questions and real helpful tips and advice at the end. You can find the What's Your Solopreneur Personality Type quiz right on the homepage of my website at shawnmynar.com. Head there now to take the quiz, then let me know over on Instagram at unstuck entrepreneur what your type is. I'll see you over there.